So now I want us to imagine, you don't have to do it about when you die. You can do it when you lose consciousness, when you fall asleep, if you want. And that is the following. You imagine that your eyes are closed, and you have, however, inner imagery going along in your mind because you haven't fallen asleep yet. And what happens is your inner imagery lose vividness, distinctness, and they become like a mirage, like fuzzy, like hallucinatory. And you also feel like a tingling, kind of less aware of the sensations of your head on the pillow, your back and shoulders on the mattress, snuggled in the covers, your body lying along the mattress, your nightie or your pajamas on your skin, etc. That all becomes more fuzzy. In general, everything kind of fuzzes out, and you have like a slightly melting feeling. And that's known as the state of the hardness, the earthy hardness in your field of habitual process of perception, becoming the fluidity. So earth into water, they say. So you just imagine that everything's kind of getting fuzzy. And then the next step is where water goes into climate or into fire, but it doesn't mean a crackling fire, it just means into sort of this feeling of temperature. So the water seems to kind of dry out. And then that has a feeling like you're in a mist. It's coolish, or in a smoky space if it's warmish. And you feel like you're kind of in a cloud, or you are a cloud. You feel cloudy, smoky. And that is water into fire, or into heat, or into temperature. And then you next feel like sparkles shooting here and there, or what their favorite thing is like a swarm of blinking fireflies, like little darty lights. And sometimes, sun knits you see, like dashing little bits of dust, reflecting light. And so the sparkling kind of vision, the cool greenish, like a firefly ball, right off, but in a swarm. Or sometimes some people see this phase as the like a moire pattern, blinking lights. That is known as fire melting into wind. That's what the third one. And then it becomes very calm, and this feeling of light, your inner imagery is just like a very still candle flame, which is sort of in your center of your inner imagery. And it's maybe just about to flicker out, but it's very, very still. It's no flickering. So that is there as wind melting into space. And at this point, you normally you just feel you fell asleep. In a way, you lose the sensation of your 5 external senses of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. And then the inner imagery of imagining those things. It all kind of ceases. You're just a kind of dull, candleless light. Very, very, then you mainly fall asleep. Normally the next stages of this movement, we don't perceive, we just become unconscious. But before the become unconscious, actually, we develop a little more subtle awareness about our inner mental processes. The candle flame expands to become an experience of moonlit space. And it's very, very calm. But it's not like there's a moon in it. It's just a whitish, luminescent, but I call it state of luminosity. Kind of dull but pleasant, white light, luminous light. And then the next one that's even a little more subtle is whatever's left of yourself feeling that you are kind of point of subjectivity within this space, which you don't much feel, actually. More or less feel you are the space. The whole world is that space. You have developed this subtle thing. So now we're just imagining that. And it sort of becomes more bright and slightly reddish, orangish, and you feel, because you sort of feel a rush of expanding energy with that space. And again, you don't see a sun, but it's like sun brightened space. That's kind of gives you a rush feeling, but not a physical rush, just mental. And then that becomes, at first, that's kind of a thrill, and but a subtle level thrill. And then, so much so, feels a little too it feels a little bothersome, very softly, and it's like you're seeking shade from the sun. And so then you go into a kind of velvet darkness, which is where you're completely asleep, unconscious. And usually those two steps from the candle flame to the moonlit and sunlit spaces are just go by so fast, you just don't even see them when you walk right into the dark state. And then finally, the dark state feels maybe a little confining, like where there's some light, So you think of dawn, or you have an impulse, a dawn-like impulse. And then you come into a very calm transparency feeling. I don't say seeing, I don't say, but you just kind of feel completely relaxed. And that you yourself are a translucency. And it's like neither dark nor bright, neither expansive solar rushing nor calming moonlight thing. And this is a kind of the deepest level. This is the gamma ray of sleep, deepest possible sleep. And kind of consciously unconscious, it's indescribable. And it feels very, very peaceful about it. I'm very happy about it. So if you've never tasted anything like it, you feel almost ecstatic about it. And it's considered you shouldn't even experiment imagining it unless you have kind of an awareness of whatever you experience is relational. You have a kind of preset like that. You don't absolute time this experience. And then you rest it. And completely let go. So you did already, but more and more subtly and more. And then you imagine that this state of consistency that you're in suddenly becomes a kind of darkness, then a sunlitness, and a moonlitness, and a candle flameness, then a swirl of fireflies-ness, then a smokiness, mistiness, then a mirage-like thing, and then you're back in the ordinary embodiment, awake. So it's like an arpeggio with 8 points and 7 transitions between the 8 points. Ding.